This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Radar, and I'm thrilled to be speaking with Robin Thede about a Black Lady sketch show. How are you, Robin?
Oh man, I thought we were going to be talking about Succession. I prepared all the wrong answers. I'm well.
We can start with that if you want, but I think the show that you made is the one to at least start with. You can tell me your favorites a little bit later.
Okay, all right.
So, congratulations on another nomination for Variety Sketch Series. I know
Thank
it's
you.
a very loaded category, lots of nominees.
Look, that's not my fault. All I know is that we made it to the final two and we could not be more thrilled to be there.
Of course. So, was there anything that you wanted to try in season three that you felt you hadn't really done before?
Yeah, we were really excited to talk about what had really happened at the end of the world, and to let the audience know, who had been with us for 3 seasons, that Dr. Hadassah was really in charge of all the shenanigans that were happening with the core cast and in the interstitials throughout those 3 seasons. And we were really excited about bringing that to a sort of climax at the end of season 3. So now we can really break open this Black Lady cinematic universe. And in the finale, we showed people that characters who had never met before can now start to cross into each other's stories, which I'm really excited about. We got to see Trinity and Octavia meet. We got to see people in sketches without any of our cast members. A lot of crazy things happened in the finale that are kind of opening up the world to an even bigger realm of possibilities moving forward. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. Did you have all this mapped out from the beginning?
Of course. And I had some different versions of it. Even after we left the writer's room, the writers did not know who was the one who had been mind controlling the women. And I did that on purpose. And so we had 3 different versions, and none of them were the Dr. Hadassah version. I wrote it a couple days before we shot it. So it was really a surprise to a lot of people. And then our crew did a great job of keeping that secret. So that was really fun.
Is that a strategy you'd recommend? Just being sort of the sole creative force who leads everyone to a mysterious place?
Not really, because for the crew, it's a little infuriating, but I think, well, we knew where it was going to take place, and we knew that the person would have been elected president. So that did not hurt them so much. But yeah, I don't know. I think part of me was also kind of reevaluating what we had done over the 3 seasons, and making sure that all of those clues that we had been dropping, all those Easter eggs we've been dropping, led to the right person. And our writers are so good that it truly could have been one of 5 people, to be honest, based on the clues that we had left. But it felt like she was the strongest choice. I think really what it came down to for me was just kind of making sure that the choice was the right person, was the right character. And that character would be someone who could shepherd us into future seasons. So at one point we had thought about maybe a guest star, one of our most epic guest stars, but I think that would have been a little difficult because moving forward, who knows if they would have been involved. So this just felt like the right decision at the time. And I'm really glad we did it.
You do have some pretty epic guest stars. I think that's a good way of putting it. When you bring people in, is it important that they have, a very sort of small role and that they're mostly with a lot of the regular players, or it really just depends on who it is and what the sketch is?
Yeah, it just depends on what the sketch is, honestly. Our sketches come first. So even as the core cast, we audition for roles once they're written. So the scripts come first. And that is the opposite of how every other sketch show does it. We just narrative and characters that are 3-dimensional first. And we have such a versatile cast that they can literally play anything. So then we do these kind of internal round robins, or just me and the cast get together and read, and we go, okay, I like that role, I like that role, and then we fall into those and make them our own. But for guest stars, it's similar. We very rarely write for guest stars. We just write roles that we love, and then we send them to them and hope that they enjoy them as well. So I mean, in terms of leading or supporting in a sketch, guest stars tend to be large supporting, only because it's a tall order to get a script and to come in for a day into a cast that's already, really well aligned and really in a rhythm. So it feels like if we gave them the entire sketch on their shoulders, it would be a bit of a heavy lift, and it might not feel, you know, it might feel incongruous with the rest of the show. So we feel like the way they shine is in large guest starring roles that are supported by us. So we're making them look funnier with everything they're already doing and with the funny that's already on the page.
Yeah, I remember talking to John Lutz about Mapleworth Murders and how they got all these big names, and the idea was the bigger they are, the less time they had, so they had to be killed off very quickly to make sure that they could like
Oh, that's
fulfill that
great.
time commitment. So, is there
I
is
don't try to do that. I mean, if I did that, I don't think anybody would do the show. But for that show, it makes sense.
of
For our
course.
show, it's like, well, look, the sketches are not going to be any more than 5 pages. So how much can you possibly do? But there are people like Holly Robinson Pete who come in and just say, move, have out, in a sketch, and that's it. But we give them a lot of camera time. We give them a lot of like, iconery in the sketches. Like I always feel like we had like 6 or 8 guest stars in the opening sketch of season 3. And it was really important that we just kind of like hit people over the head with every shot. So they're like, oh crap, that person's in this sketch, that person's in this sketch. And so they were all just down to be a part of that, which I think is really cool. I mean, Kelly Rowland had 1 line on the show, but a really iconic and impactful scene. So I think it matters the kind of the vibe of it and the feel of it. And I think most of our guest stars get that for sure. Well, they all do. Everyone who comes to do the show. And I think we've had, I don't know, 90 at this point in 3 seasons. It's crazy.
It's also great to see Quinta Brunson again because I know she was a big part of season 1. And now she's doing really incredible things. Is it good to have her? It was good to have her back.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, we all just fell back into our rhythm, like, like we had just left. So she's always our sister, always a part of our family, and obviously welcome anytime. But she's got some more important things to do now. And we're just beyond thrilled for her. But that's the whole point of a Black Lady sketch show. The whole point is that you come and you work on the show and then you move on to the things that, this allows you entree to do. And I'm not saying a Black Lady sketch show is responsible for Abbott. That is all Quinta and her genius. But I do think that, this is always a great, like any other sketch show, right? It's a great platform to be seen and to show the versatility that she has and that all this cast has.
I know a lot of comedy writers now are feeling that because the political climate is getting so much more ridiculous, it's harder to write comedy because the real world is so absurd.
I don't agree. I think it's harder to be offensive and get a laugh. But I always feel like if your jokes are funny, it doesn't matter if they're offensive. If they're well written, people are going to laugh. And I also think the world is not as sensitive as the internet likes to make us think. Because I'm still in comedy clubs and I'm still seeing the acts that people are doing. And there's people out here doing some very offensive and raunchy things that are getting huge laughs. And I think there's room in comedy for all of it. I'm not saying that we should punch down and abuse people with comedy. I'm not saying that. I just think that everything's fair game as long as you know how to write a good joke. And I think that the jokes that are the most offensive to people, look, you're going to offend some people. I've offended people. I try not to. I have a very like joy-centered motivation with comedy, but I think at the end of the day, like you're going to offend some people. You try to offend as few as possible, but you can't avoid it, but I am not of the school of thought that you have to like water down your comedy because of the audience. I don't think that's true. I think audiences are smart, and I think that they want to be pushed to the edge of their boundaries. And as long as the jokes are funny, I think, you can get away with a lot.
So you started off by talking about Succession, but what other comedy, whether it's sketch or sitcom, are you watching and enjoying right now?
Oh my gosh, Hacks. Hacks is so incredible. And for any of us that have been in that comedy world, it's really brilliant the way that they're doing it. I mean, what Jen and Paul and all, I mean, it's really incredible. It's really incredible to create this story that's essentially about the relationship between these 2 women, but to be able to portray Hollywood in a way that shows the not really glamorous side and the truly the struggle that a lot of people who have risen to high heights, but also people who haven't made it yet. Like, when you look at Jean Smart's character and she's on the road trying to eke her fame back, that's the same, except with a way less nice RV. That's the same path that comedians who are trying to make it are living outside of their car and going to open mics and traveling across regions trying to get get stage time. So I think it's really amazing how they're doing that and introducing the world to some of the behind the scenes of Hollywood, because it really does feel super accurate to me.
Yeah. So what is it like working with HBO? Is that a good partner for you on this?
What if I told you no? How insane would that be?
Probably not the right thing given that they set up
Yeah,
this
no.
interview. But yeah,
I I have already told HBO I just signed a new deal with HBO. I am never leaving and they will have to kick me out. This is truly the place for artists to create. And that is the Bible truth. I am able to freely express the type of comedy I want to make, the type of impact I want to have. And not only do they support the show, the writing, the characters, they support the impact in the community. And they do all of these activations to make sure that people are feeling seen and that the people who the show is meant for are getting it directly and getting um, perks of being fans of the show. I think they've done this beautifully, not only with our show, but with Insecure and, Succession and all of these shows. Westworld,
Succession
oh
again.
my gosh, they have all these crazy Westworld activations. I went to one in Austin where they literally had like a robot serve me coffee and then he like glitched out. I was like, only HBO would do this kind of stuff. Like, it really is premium television. And I think in this day and age where a lot of things are getting canceled and peak TV is very much being shrunken down, I'm so, so, so eternally grateful to be making TV at HBO.
And do you like
And
this?
HBO Max. We love HBO
Of
Max.
course, HBO Max. Yes. Do you like this 6 episode format? Is that something we can expect for season 4?
That's up to HBO, but I think it will probably pretty much stay the same. The thing I always tell people about this show is that yes, it's 6 episodes, but it's 28 minutes and 30 seconds roundabout of comedy, somewhere in between there, 27, 28 minutes. Most sketch shows are about 19 minutes. I think Tim Robinson's show is like 16 minutes, and then anything with commercials is only 19 minutes. So we're giving you more content than 6 episodes would make you think. But I think every season I try to make it denser and denser, but it takes all year to make those 6 episodes. It's a lot of work. We shoot everything on location, all those guest stars, the writing, the post, the marketing, there's a lot to be done. But look, if HBO gives us more, I will happily make them. But for now, that's what we have, and I'm eternally grateful.
And when can we expect season 4?
Oh, well, let's see. I definitely should not answer that question. But I mean, if you know when the other seasons aired, it won't be hard to figure it out. So, we're making it now. So we're excited. It's coming soon.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, and good
Thank
luck at the Emmys.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.